All right, so what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In my last video, you saw we got this thing started. So now I've been buttoning up a few things. We're going to go ahead and get this thing out for a test drive. I do have to do a few things, and just pay no mind to that right now. But I do have to take care of a few things. Mainly, I got to burp the coolant system. So I'm just going to go over this really quickly. But basically, how you do it is when the car is off and cold, you want to just take your radiator cap off. Of course, do not do this when it is hot because it is pressurized. It will shoot up and burn you. Yeah, so take your radiator cap off when your car is cold, and we're just going to add fluid here. Then you're going to go inside, turn the car on, and what you'll see is that you'll get some bubbles here. And all that is it's removing the air from the system. So if you happen to do a coolant flush or drain the coolant for whatever reason and you notice your car is overheating faster than it was, it's probably because you still have air in the system. So you want to make sure you get all those bubbles out. So we're going to make sure there's a little bit of water in our coolant overflow. We're going to turn the car on and then start adding water here. Now what you also want to do is turn your heat on. But my heater is actually not hooked up right now. My blower motor is still not hooked up. So this is going to take a little bit longer than it normally would. Normally I do this with just a big funnel, but I went ahead and picked up this kit off Amazon. It's a spill-proof funnel kit. Of course, you can see this is a massive funnel. It's got some fittings on the inside of it. I know one of them is going to attach to our nozzle here to keep it from spilling. And we're going to fill this thing up and then let it drain. So let's get this open. All right, so this is the kit. Guessing this is just a plug or a stopper for the funnel. We've got a few different connections. These three pieces here are going to be your makeshift radiator cap, at least for filling. So this looks like it'll fit. Yeah, so this is the one we're going to use. This light blue one, which is, goes with it. So the pieces that have the little O-rings on them, that's this black thing, is what is going to go down into your radiator. So in my case, I'm going to use this one. It just kind of fits. It just kind of fits in there. Now we're going to take the radiator cap, slide that over, and now that is snug. And of course that rubber gasket will make that seal so that it won't leak, and then you can just take and drop that on there. So on my car I don't need these orange pieces, but these are just to help you get to your radiator cap more easily. So if it wasn't as easily accessible as this one, you would use those orange pieces to bring the spout over. So before we even get started, I will say this is probably excessive. I've done this a bunch of times with just a funnel, haven't had any major problems. Of course you're going to spill a little bit, but it's not that big a deal. But this isn't expensive and I wanted to try it out. So what I'm going to do is fill this container up, start the car, and then pull this plunger, and then we'll start to bleed the system. Alright, so this is full, so now we just need to go inside the car. Start the car up. What you'll notice is all these bubbles is just air being released from the coolant system. And you want to keep adding water to this container until those bubbles stop. Show you guys one thing. Of course, the car's on, it's in neutral. And look, this wheel is actually spinning. And it's not spinning very fast. When I put my hand on it, I can actually stop it. That's actually normal. So there's going to be a little drag on the clutch even when, so there's going to be a little drag. So there's going to be a little drag even when the car's on neutral. So this one isn't spinning at all. That's good. Now if I put it in, gear, you'll see that wheel will start to spin a lot faster. Now that wheel is spinning a lot faster, and of course I can't stop. So the car ran for about 10 minutes. We actually went through an entire one of these plus a little extra. You can see that some of the old coolant kind of pushed up, and yes, that is what happens when you use regular water. It does turn brown inside the engine. Now, it's not going to harm anything, but it's just kind of ugly. So you really should be using distilled water or coolant, but this is just straight tap water. I'm gonna drain, so we're gonna fill the transmission. To do that, we're just gonna get to that plug that's right there. And all we need to do is take that plug off. It is a 17 millimeter, and we're going to add fluid until it runs out of that hole. So it should take about 3 quarts. So it should take about 3 quarts. And it should take about 3 quarts. Just be aware, your car does need to be on level ground. Of course, my car is still jacked up at the moment because I still need to do something, so I'm not going to fill it completely up. Alright guys, so I'm going to attempt to show you guys what's been going on. So of course you see the car is back up and running. Most conditions it runs fine, but we are having a problem where under load, under high RPM, around 6,500, it's starting to break up. It almost sounds like, it feels like fuel cut or the spark blowout, but not really sure if that's it or not. I've changed the plugs a couple times, not it. He thought maybe it might be the crank position sensor. I got a brand new OEM unit. Haven't figured it out. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what's going on. I'm gonna downshift into. Let's get into third. Of course, it's all computer generated. All right, but we get on it. It's third gear. So I don't know if you guys heard that, but it starts to break up at that same RPM every time. All right, guys, so that's it. So like I said, I was having that same problem with the breakup before the engine went down, before I had to replace everything, and I'm still having that same issue. Now, one thing I did notice that I didn't film was that I pulled the plugs and they were black. So if I got a picture, I'll go ahead and put that up. But what this is, that means the plugs are fouled. So this is probably what's causing my spark breakup. So of course, when you find your plugs, that just means you're running rich. But according to my gauge, that's not the case. The gauge is constantly reading like 12 or 13. So what that means is that I probably have an exhaust leak somewhere before the sensor. So it's not getting an accurate reading of what's actually going out the exhaust. I got under the car, and what I noticed is that it looks like my V-band for the downpipe that connects to the back of the turbo was actually loose. So I'm not sure if that's broken or what, but hopefully it's not, and I can just tighten it back up. We can get that fixed and we can get the car running right. So it's not running as rich, and I can stop fouling the plugs and then stop breaking up on the top end. So hopefully that is the simple problem. Like I said, I already replaced the crank position sensor in this car anyway with the new OEM Evo 8 unit. So now I know that that's not the problem either. But of course, I want to thank you guys for watching my video. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow the build of the Coolant and my Integra. Got some Honda content coming here soon, and have a great day.